Welcome back. We were discussing body and movements science. We have seen bones are there which form the skeleton, and bones and muscles together help us to move because of the joints. There are different types of joints, and the type of movement that is possible in a joint is linear or circular or uh, linear, circular or angular. So these are the three types of movement: linear, circular and angular. And there are different types of joints which help us in the movement. Muscles and bones together help us to move. Now what are the types of joints? There is a hinge joint which is like opening and closing of a door fixed on a wall, like a elbow or a knee. At an elbow or a knee, it moves in only in one direction and comes back to that place. It is called a hinge joint, unidirectional. Then we have a pivotal joint. Pivotal joint is a junction of a neck, the head, and allows a forward or backward movements. At the pivotal joint, it's a junction of the neck and head. It allows the forward and backward movements. Pivotal joint. But you cannot move too much into the back. Just like a hinge joint, it stops at a particular place. But you can see the left, right, and all. In a ball and socket joint, there is a rounded end of the bone fits into the cavity of the other bone. In a ball and socket joint, the rounded edge of one bone fits into the cavity of the other bone, allowing multi-directional movement. It is like a hip. When the ball and socket joint is available in a hip, it helps in multi-directional movement when the rounded end of one bone fits into the cavity of the other. Then we have fixed joints where movement is not possible, like your upper jaw. The upper jaw is fixed. It is a joint, but it is fixed. The lower jaw moves, the upper jaw does not move. Then we have palm, foot, and fingers and toes, which are also made up of joints and bones. The tarsals and carpals are the names of the bones in our hands and legs. Then we have cartilages. For example, in the ear, you have cartilages. They are soft bones. So these are the different types of joints and different types of bones. Then the types of bones are skull. In the skull, it is a ball shaped. It safeguards the brain. Then the backbone, there are 33 ring-like vertebra which safeguards the spinal cord. Then we have a hip bone that encloses the pelvic portion of our body and joins the legs to the backbone. Hip bone joins the legs to the backbone. The chest bone in the front is connected to the rib cage, which is connected to the backbone. The rib cage protects the heart and the lungs. Chest bone is in the front. There are two bones of the back, shoulder bones. There are two bones on the back, which is called shoulder bones. Ribs are forming a cage between the chest bone and the backbone. Carpals are the fingers of in your fingers. Tarsals are in your legs. Cartilages are not as hard as the bone, but are also bone family. Coming to muscles, muscles are the fleshy part of our body. It can be soft or hard, stiff or loose. For example, tongue is a muscle, lips is also muscle, heart is also muscle. So there are different types of muscle in our body. It can be hard, it can be stiff, it can become loose, it can become thick or thin. The muscles can become hard or soft, stiff or loose, thick or thin. That means the muscles can expand or contract. So because they can expand or contract, what happens is they help the bones to move at their joints. So muscles are in pairs. When one set of muscle contract, the other relaxes. And so what happens is one portion will become smaller and other portion become longer, and the bone in the specific direction is moved. So when one set of muscles contract and the other relaxes, one set of bones move at their joint. It does the push. So as to change the direction, the relaxed muscle will contract, and the contracted muscle will relax, and the bone will come back to its place. This is how we have our legs or hands moving. Nerves in the muscle make the muscle move. Nerves carry the information to and from the brain. So this is how the muscles expand or contract so that the bones move in a specific direction, causing the movement. That is why when a snake comes, you have to move your legs so that you can run away. It happens so fast. Animals. Different animals move in different ways in different surfaces. For example, the frog hops on the ground and swims in water. Birds walk or trot or fly. Worms and snakes crawl. So the movement of different animals are called different. For man, we call it as walking or jumping or skipping or running, etc. Different animals move in different fashion. They also have the bones, they also have the muscles, and if with the help of the muscles and bones, same as human beings, they also move. But their movement is called different because birds fly, worms crawl, etc. Earthworm, for example, does not have the bones but have the muscles. These muscles contract or shorten and expand or lengthen their body. So what they do with the help, they secrete a liquid also to facilitate movement. They have a hairy structure which helps them fix to the ground. So first it extends the front part of the body, keeping the rear portion fixed to the ground. Then it fixes the front end and releases the rear. This is how the earthworm moves. They forward and backward, forward and backward. When they move, they also take the sun in, sand or mud inside, and then throw it out through the rectum. So what happens is the mud inside the earth comes out to the top. That is why they are called friends of the farmers. Coming to animal movements. Different animals have different style. We have seen how the earthworm moves also. So the earthworm takes the soil in, and then as it moves, it throws out the residue from the rear. That is why it is called friends of the farmer. Take an example of a snail. Snail has an outer skeleton which is dragged along with it. This is called the shell. The snail is also called home of the shell is also called the home of the snail because the snail can suck itself inside the shell. But it drags the shell. It is not helping in any other way for the movement. It is not a bone. Snail has a foot made up of strong muscles with which it makes a wavy motion and gets up grip to the movement. Snails have a thick, strong muscles which helps to make a wavy motion to get a grip to make the movement. Let us look at a cockroach. Cockroaches can walk, climb and fly. The cockroach body is covered with a hard outer skeleton made up of plates. The plates are joined intermittently. So, the body is covered with hard outer skeleton. It has 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings. So, the cockroaches fly using these wings and the cockroaches walk and run using the legs. The muscle near the legs help in walking while the body muscles help flying for the cockroach. Looking at birds, the birds' bones are very light. The bones are filled with air so that they can fly. If they are heavy, it will be difficult for them to fly. Some birds wade in the water. That is, they stand in the water and their legs are tall. Some birds swim in the water because they have webbed feet like a duck. Some birds do not fly even though they have wings. And some birds are very good in flying. They can fly from Arctic to Antarctic. How the birds fly? The birds have hind limbs which are for walking or perching. And the forelimbs of the birds, the hands, are adapted as the wings. They have very powerful chest muscles and a very powerful wings muscle. The strong shoulder bone support the wings and hold them, while the breastbone are supportive for the flight movement. So the bones are also adapted for movement and the wings are also adapted for flying. The forelimbs are adapted as wings for flying. Now let us look at fish. Fish has an aerodynamic body. The head and tail are smaller and the middle portion of the body is bigger, so it is streamlined to allow the water to flow. The skeleton of the fish is covered with strong muscles. They make the front part of the body. So these muscles, the front part of the body curve to one side and the tail swings to the opposite side. The front part of the body curves to left, the tail swings to the right. So what happens when the body swings to the opposite side? It forms a curve and then quickly it reverses. The tail curve to the other side, causing a jerk. By this, the body of the fish is pushed forward. Thus, the fins of the tail help to swim. Fish has very strong muscles. The front part of the body curves to one side and the tail part swings to the opposite side and then immediately reverse the curve, and this causes a jerk, and because of this the fish moves forward. So it is the fins of the tail that helps the fish to swim easily. Looking at a snake, snakes have long backbone and many thin muscles interconnecting the ribs and skin. Snakes have a long backbone and many thin muscles that interconnect the ribs and the skin. The snake's body curves into many loops. Each, because the bones are made up of rings, the long backbone is made up of rings, the snake's body curves into small loops. Each loop of the snake gives it a forward push by pressing against the ground, moving forward very fast. The snake's body curls into many loops. Each loop gives it a forward push by pressing against the ground. So when you are on a slippery surface, the snakes will have difficulty in movement. So different animals move in different ways in different surfaces. Snakes cannot easily go in a slippery surface. Frog hops on the ground while sips in water. Birds walk or trot. So these are the ways in which different animals move. Thanks for watching this video.